What if you could live forever? What would you sacrifice for it? Tech billionaire, millionaire Bryan Johnson famously spends millions of dollars a year to supposedly reverse his biological age and not die. One recent twist, he just announced that he was diagnosed with an incurable disease, a type of gastritis, and he blames it on the bad habits of his youth. But at least one expert has gone on record to say that it could just as well have been his extreme attempts at life extension that was the cause. Well, he is still alive, but is he living? Every solitary ounce of food is weighed, every unyielding workout is mathematically calculated, and every single minute of sleep is micromanaged by a software program. He tracks his friggin' erections and wants to compare them with his teenage son. But so, if staying alive requires you to systematically strip away every spontaneous human whim, every late night conversation with a friend, every unmeasured mile, every meal eaten purely for the taste of its ingredients, have you actually defeated death, or have you just agreed to turn your life into a cold execution code for mere carbon preservation? He wants to beat death, and that's his ultimate purpose apparently, but that's mere existence. Psychologists have a term for this: over-control. It's a state where the hyper-rational, future-oriented cognitive system completely crushes our spontaneous emotional drive. Here you could say that he falls, and we oftentimes fall, into a shiny new wearable syndrome. He's constantly upgrading tracking gadgets while remaining entirely deaf to our own immediate physical feedback. I understand what he is after, because yes, we oftentimes fall into traps and do things which are not actually so good in the long term, but we need to approach those things differently, because otherwise we are avoiding the life that we have in front of us just for the promise of a longer life. As a biologist, I look at the shift from lifespan to health span and I see the incredible promise. I think that the idea is very necessary, and I sure want to live as fit and as healthy as possible, to be there for my family, to experience life. We want quality and not just quantity, but that applies to rising life expectancy going hand in hand with a long burden of disease in later life, as well as to don't die. That can't be the end-all be-all either. Both would just be quantities that are measured and are seen as good, but not quality being looked at. Early prevention certainly beats reactive clinical crises, but the tech bro narrative has warped this health span promise into a spreadsheet and the bodily foundation into the pinnacle of things. They treat the body like a mechanical machine to be hacked, optimized, and performed for an online leaderboard. They are preserving the hardware, but you have to ask, is anyone still home? We are biological beings. We are complicated. We are dynamic ecosystems, not fixed algorithms. If you dismantle that spreadsheet-driven mindset, you don't stop looking after yourself. You change your destination. You realize your body isn't a software package or a hardware to protect from the world. It is the tool you use to explore the world, to experience it. I've become a father only in midlife, and this realization changed how I viewed everything. It forced me to look past the internet's aesthetic obsession with absolute physical perfection, past all of those numbers, into how do we responsibly build an engine that lasts without losing our humanity. I want to live long so I can experience and support my children as they grow up. And I can't just live my life to live long, or I wouldn't be there for them. Healthy living and fitness must be in balance with joy and play, and of course with work. There's no perfection to be found in one extreme. It's all just comfort and fun, whatever, fuck the future. There's only the delicate and difficult balancing act that, well, is life. We also can't optimize for life and forget about everything else. So, in a series I am going to also do on my channel here, to micro-explore, we are going to micro-explore ourselves as biological bodies, which is ultimately what we are. Even our cognition, our consciousness only arises from that, as something to look at, something to explore, and by exploring, learn more about it and learn to deal with our complicatedness better. We are going to take the ultimate cultural symbol of physical neglect, the dead bod, and redefine it, not as a badge of apathy, but as a finely tuned, respected biological vessel built for endurance, deep work, and spontaneous exploration. We will ground that exploration in sensible, expert-guided data, like professional sports medicine testing for VO2 max, using data as a metric for capability, for competence that gets better, that improves, never as a tyrant. To test that biological engine in the real world, however, you have to also actually step into the terrain of it. The moment you walk out your front door to seek a true uncurated physical experience, you might notice a different kind of prison. A digital grid designed to completely sanitize your view of the Earth. And next week, we will look at spatial blindness and why our navigation apps are actively keeping us strangers even in our own cities.